Thinking about buying a franchise? Don't go it alone. Just like a buyer's agent in real estate, you deserve someone who's on your side every step of the way. That's where Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, comes in. Todd's consulting services are completely free to anyone looking to buy a franchise. He'll represent your interest, make sure all your questions are answered, and walk you through the entire buying process. With Todd in your corner, you'll have the best chance for success from your first call to the day you hold the keys to your new business. So before you buy a franchise, talk to someone who knows the industry inside and out and works for you. Call Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, today at 423-381-0925 for a free, no-pressure consultation. That's 423-381-0925. Your future in franchising starts here.
Good afternoon. It's Friday, November the 1st. My name is Todd Abraham, and you are listening to the Franchise Marketing Systems Client Spotlight podcast series on franchiseradio.net. And today, I have to say, before we even get started, this is going to be one of my favorite podcasts I've ever done because it's all about music, it's all about kids, and it's all about somebody who took what I would consider a passionate vision and turned it into a very successful reality. And today we are pleased to have with us Dr. Tolanda Thomas, and she is based out of Long Island, New York. And without any further ado, Tolanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And you guys can't see her unless we publish this on like the YouTube channel for FMS, but she has got the most beautiful smile. And I always like folks that have the great smiles, because a smile makes you feel better, I mean, sometimes just a simple smile to a stranger that doesn't even know you can make their whole day,
That's right.
So, Tolanda, tell us about the New York City Music Center. And for those of you, well, first of all, tell us what the website is. That way people can go ahead and pull it up while they're listening to the podcast.
Absolutely. So our franchise website is nymcmusicfranchise.com. That's nymcmusicfranchise.com. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the company itself, our initial locations, you could also visit us at nymcmusic.com.
That is such a great domain name. And I did tell Tolanda, we were talking several times before we actually did the podcast, which, by the way, we had quite a few technical glitches here, mostly on my end, which was kind of a surprise. But, her branding for her business is so professional. And I was watching actually one of the videos, the encouragement from Kenny G for your students. I thought that was awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and I know you said you have a PhD in education. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. So my background is that I have been an educator for almost 20 years now. I started out as a kid who loved to play piano and to sing, and then I ended up going on to college for music education. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to teach or perform. And so I ended up going into teaching and fell into business ownership kind of by accident. I was a public school music teacher who found herself unsure if she was going to have a job if the budget didn't pass. And so I quickly went ahead and opened up my first brick and mortar location, and the budget passed and I didn't lose my job. And so I found myself now with the business, which I've been running now for almost 18 years. And also I stayed in public education as a teacher, a music teacher, and also a administrator for a while as well. And even more importantly than that, I'm a mom. I try and be community-based and about serving people in my community. And so I think that's what makes me love what we do at the New York Musician Center the most.
Right. And how many children do you have?
I have 2 boys of my own, 3 bonus sons. I also have a little grandbaby. He's almost 3.
Oh.
And they're all boys. Everyone's a boy.
That's cool. Well, I've always heard that, I've only had one son myself who's 23, but I've always heard that boys are easier to raise than girls. And I guess you never got to find out if it was true or not.
Oh, I was a 6th grade teacher to many girls for many years. I know it's true. Boys are easier.
So now, at what age were you when you actually got your PhD?
I got my PhD at, I believe I was 27. It was early, and I just kind of plowed through. I raced off to college and went straight into my master's program and took maybe about a month off before starting my doctorate degree. And I just kind of put the pedal to the metal because I had momentum going. And that's probably one of the reasons why I ended up starting a music school. I was a little bored after the doctorate degree and needed something to throw myself into. And what was better than taking my passion and something that's very important to me, which are serving kids and giving them better skills and more confidence and being able to bring that into a business. So that's what excited me about getting started. And I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, kids are awesome. And so now you've been in the school's been there for 18 years. And then how many students do you average, annually or?
So we started out serving the Boys and Girls Clubs for their music programs. And so we did that first for a while. And then we opened up our first location in 2013. And at that time, I was both working as a public school music teacher and as well as owning and running a music school. And then in 2021, after the pandemic, we decided to open up our second location, which has now been there for about, I think we just celebrated 3 years. And every week we serve 1,100 students between our two locations. So
That
we're
is
open
so
7 days a
cool.
week.
That is
Yeah, it's
so
great.
cool. Yeah. So if you should definitely check out the website. I was looking over all the different things that you offer, and it really is a very complete menu, for lack of a better word, of the types of instruction that you offer, the bonus things, as I would call them, that you offer. And what I thought was really cool, and I don't know why it surprised me, is that you have music teachers from all over the world, right?
Absolutely. I just left our studios a few minutes ago, and I left one woman who's from Ukraine, one person who's from, they're from literally everywhere, and they bring such great experience to our students. So even though some music schools may focus on one particular curriculum or one particular style of learning, we have 1,100 different students who learn in 1,100 different ways. So I pride ourselves on being able to match them up with a teacher who can really give them what it is that they need.
That is very cool. Now, how do you find these teachers like internationally?
Interestingly, they seem to find us. Sometimes it's harder to find teachers who are locally, but even this afternoon, I received 2 emails from teachers who were here from other places and looking for places to teach. And oftentimes, when they start looking for schools, I think they're looking for a place that has a great reputation, a place where, as a musician, it's hard to find consistent work sometimes. And most music schools have about an average of 100 students. So you can't really give them a consistent schedule. And I think that they love being able to look for a place that there's lots of great reviews. Other teachers say that they enjoy working there, and there's lots of great work available. So I love that they have started coming to us. It has made our job a lot more easier because of the reputation that we have built.
Right. And how many teachers altogether do you have?
Right now, we have almost 70 teachers on staff.
That is so cool. So how do you charge the students? Do you charge them per lesson? Do you charge them by the month? How does that work?
So this is a subscription style business. We bill everyone the first of the month. So today, for example, is the first of the month. Everyone got billed today, and that's how we run things from month to month. And so someone can come take a trial lesson and see if they're interested. But 99.9% of our business are subscribed customers who come every month and get billed with us every single month over and over again.
And then what is the rate that they get charged? Is it different based on their instruction or?
No, it's the same rate. So for example, our rate right now is 176 per month, and they pay that same rate. That's for a 30-minute lesson. The prices are a little bit different. If they do multiple instruments or multiple time, it would just be a multiple of however much time that they're taking with us. And our pricing is a little bit different also for music therapy, which is something that we offer. Our current rate is $260 a month for music therapy. And that's actually been a nice growing program that our families have been interested in because there's a lot of students who have special needs and who need special teachers who have the experience to be able to work with kids who need to grow not only as musicians, but socially, and to be able to gain the skills that they need to really succeed.
Right. Now you say 30 minutes. Now is that like once a week or how does on the subscription?
Yes, they
And
come
then
once a week.
and then what other benefits do they get with their monthly subscription?
Oh, there's so much. I've got a long list. But so they come once a week for a lesson with their teacher, either for 30 minutes or an hour typically. And we just include so many other things. So most music schools, you go there and it's just a music lesson. When they come to us, we have all sorts of things from free snacks in the lobby for them to coloring books, things to keep them excited. We have lots of wonderful events like our recitals, where we put on over 40 recitals every year, and those are free to the customers. But a lot of music schools, they take their students to the local library or to a local church, and that's where they have their recitals. We really believe in giving students opportunity to be on great grand stages. And so we always rent out wonderful facilities and venues where they can perform. This could be ones that are local, like college campuses, or we even go to places such as Carnegie Hall, where we perform every year. That's something that is Carnegie Hall is not something that's included. It's something that they can choose to participate in, such as our international tours that we go on. We actually just performed a tour in Italy. This
Oh,
year it's amazing. And then we're bringing our students to Paris this summer. But we just have so many different red carpet events, things that we offer to our students, but just even the little details, just like a massage chair in the lobby for the parents so they can relax when they come in. People want to feel good and they want to feel special, and we want all of our students and their families to feel like the superstars that they are.
I can just see some poor parent coming in with like three kids and say, "Woo, I'm so glad you got this massage chair. My kids done got on my last nerve and I need to relax."
Yep, they do. They
That's
do.
awesome. All right, so very exciting. So Carnegie Hall, I mean, I would love to definitely go hear you guys perform there. That is such, I mean, just from the pictures I've seen, it's a beautiful place. So now when somebody, first of all, let's talk a little bit about the franchise opportunity because, there are hundreds of different franchise opportunities out there, but this one is so unique. And what I love about it is that the price point is lower, much lower on average than most of the franchises that are out there. For example, the all-in investment, if I read the site correctly, is 79,000. Is that right?
Correct. That's
And
the low
then,
end. Yes.
and the franchise fee is how much?
That's 35,000.
35. And then the monthly royalty is 5% and the marketing fee is 4%, correct?
The royalty is 7%.
7% and the marketing fund is 4%.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So when somebody buys a franchise with you, what size of a place would they need? And then, as far as access to teachers, what percentage of those teachers need to be local? And then what percentage of those teachers will they have access to that you already currently use that are international?
Yes. So with this being a community-based program and franchisees opening up in their communities of their choosing, they're going to want to work with teachers who are local to them. They don't want to worry about teachers having to be only on Zoom or something like that. What we have found post-COVID is that parents, they want their kids to be in the room with the teachers. So first, when we're talking about a building, my average buildings are both approximately 2,500 square feet, but you don't have to start there. So when I first started, I began with an office that was built out kind of like a doctor's office. It had several rooms already, and it was about 1,200 square feet. And we filled that up until we ran out of space, and then we just knocked down another wall and put up some more rooms. And so we
That's
started. There
cool.
was 7 rooms. Yeah, it's wonderful. And then our newer location is a little bit smaller. The lobby's a little bit bigger, but again, they're both a little under 2,500 square feet, but that's kind of the size that you're looking for. And when someone gets a building, when they lease a building, whether they're leasing or purchasing a building, once they find a building, there are teachers everywhere. There are music teachers in colleges, many music students who are looking for experience. And I think even though it's wonderful to have seasoned music teachers, it could be people who already teach in their homes and they're tired of them teaching at home, interrupting their family's private time and their family being able to get their homework done and dinner time. They're looking for a space to teach. So you might find more seasoned instructors who are already teaching at home, or who would like to be able to teach more students, but they can't do that in their home or don't have the physical space for it. Or you could tap into the college markets. A lot of schools have music education and music performance programs, and these students are dying for an opportunity to get hands-on learning. And I'll tell you, the people who work for us, they get hired much faster if they're going on to, say, try and become a public school teacher after graduation, because they have a really great experience with us. They get a lot of learning opportunities. And for that reason, it's kind of reciprocal with the school districts, because they know that we've prepared these younger instructors who are going out into the workforce. Many of them continue on teaching with us afterwards, but the school districts then know us and love us and refer their students to us. So it works. It's a nice two-way street that works very well for a music school owner.
That is really, really cool. So as far as the build out of the location, you've got all those specs ready to go, right? So a franchisee signs on board, they get a space. And so probably the minimum that they would need would probably be what, about 1,500 square feet, you think?
I would say that's great. Again, I started with 1,200 square
Or
feet.
1,200, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the rooms that you need don't have to be large. I say, if like when we did our build out, each room was about 10 by 10. So we're not talking about huge rooms here, just
Right.
something that can fit either, you want to be able to fit a piano and at least two chairs into a room comfortably. And so you don't need larger spaces, but the great thing is you could start where you are. I mean, when I first went into becoming a music school owner, I was a single mom. I was on one single income with the public school. So my income was only but so much. And I was able to tap into the resources that I had, which weren't really great at that time. But I was able to take that and to be able to put that into a new business. And luckily, with the music school getting started, you can start small. You can start wherever you can financially afford to. There's a lot of pianos that are available for free. So you can begin with what you have or what you can find, and certainly grow your school as you continue to grow.
That's very cool. So I actually have a Yamaha YPG 535. I've had it for about 11 years now. I bought it through American Music Supply. I'm sure you've heard of them. But I absolutely love this keyboard because it is the replica of a baby grand, but it sounds like a baby grand. Sometimes electric doesn't translate over to the same sound, but
Right.
you of all people, you heard this. So could they do like that kind of a keyboard if they needed to start with it, and then do they need to have an actual piano, or can they use a keyboard? How does that work?
Yeah. So, I'll tell a music school owner what I would tell a parent who asks this question when a student signs up. So as a student, yes, you can start with a keyboard, but I highly recommend that it will be a full size 88 key weighted keyboard, or at least semi-weighted keyboard, meaning that there's some pressure on your fingers when you press down so that it
Right.
builds up the muscle memory. For a music school owner, I think the benefit is that it literally is only slightly more money to put in a piano, an acoustic piano, which is a gold standard for what a child should be learning on, so that they can grow the finger strength. It's really, really important. And again, there's so many people who have pianos that are stuck in their homes that they've inherited, that we get more requests per week of people just trying to give away instruments than we could possibly ever give away.
Right.
So oftentimes people are literally just paying a couple $100s for someone to move a piano, versus if you buy that type of keyboard, you might even be spending that amount on a keyboard. And so that's definitely something that we are able to help our franchisees with making sure that they're able to pick out an instrument that not only is affordable, and it can be a keyboard. Like, we do have a few rooms that do have digital pianos. They are weighted, but they're not all that expensive, but sometimes they just take up a little less space than acoustic piano. which is what you would want a piano student to actually be learning on, ideally over time.
Right. And so the company, I want to throw this out there because I understand that money's tight, inflation is higher than probably we've ever had. But this company, American Music Supply, that I bought all of my music equipment from, they're fantastic because you can buy it on installments. You can choose your term of payment. They do not charge interest, and their credit requirements are much less stringent than like if you're going to buy like a car or a home loan or whatever. And their customer service is excellent. And like I said, I've got that keyboard I bought from them, but I've also got another weighted keyboard, like you said, with the 88 keys, and it was very reasonably priced. But like I said, I bought it on payments, and they also add, and they're not paying me to say this. I'm saying this to help people that are looking for good brand new music equipment that won't break their bank. But they also do 2-day shipping, and they add an extra year warranty on there just right off the top. And their people on the phone, their customer service reps, their sales reps, they are experts at everything music. I mean, I don't know how one person or how one company can have that many people that know so much about so many different, musical instruments, but they're really, really good. But anyway, back to the franchise. All right. So the all-in franchise, or the fee, $79,000, including the franchise fee. And then once they sign up and get started, become a franchisee, what do you project the turnaround time will be for them before they can actually start to receive students and then begin to generate revenue?
It depends how quickly somebody wants to move. Someone who may want to take their time, and of course, you want to do your due diligence of finding a location. But you might be like me. This was something that when I first started out, I had already started cruising the streets because it was something that I'd been thinking about. And so once I took that action, I was able within 30 days to sign that lease. Luckily, both of my locations that I found were already built out. I didn't have to do any building. All I had to do was literally get a piano or get a drum set into each room, and we were ready to go. So ideally, I think that someone who's ready to go can do this in under 60 days. That's what I did. And when we signed our lease, we had 0 students. However, we do have a really, really great system for getting people to be able to bring in their own students and get teachers and get themselves really up and going quickly. And I will say that my first year of really just trying to figure things out on my own, I really, really struggled. And then I really started diving into my business education and trying to put together a detail of a checklist, a process of exactly how do we bring in great students and how do we keep them happy? And so I think that if you have someone like a franchise company like ours to work with who is ready to support you and ready to train you and get you rolling, I think that you could do really great things quickly. And as far as to let you know, like the time frame of how quickly a school should grow, the average music school out there on their own has about 100 music students who they serve every week. My theory is always, if you are doing a great job of advertising and keeping your people happy, you're going to grow by at least 100 students every year net. Now, we opened up our second location almost as a protege to see, can we replicate exactly what we did at the first location? And then can we grow it by at least 100 students? So after 3 years, we just hit 3 years last month, we should be at 300 students. We're about to hit 500 students at that new location.
That's so cool.
Your growth is dependent on, we want people who are ready to go all in and get excited to really make a difference in their community. And so we're ready to move at light speed with them to support them.
Yeah, and there's such a diverse a group of people who could buy a franchise with you. In other words, you might have, 3 friends who are, teachers or music teachers who decide, hey, we want to form an LLC and we want to buy a franchise with New York Music Center. Because again, for anybody listening, franchising is, in my humble opinion and my extensive business experience, the best way to start a business, especially in this economy, because it's what I call plug and play. like you said, you've already overcome all those hurdles. You've already got all those systems in place, and all they have to do is find the location and then plug into your system. And it's almost like one of those power strips. Power goes to the whole thing. You just have to find the right plug-in to plug in and get ready and go. So where did you get the idea to franchise? Where did that vision come about?
So back when I opened up my first location, as I told you, it was kind of by accident because I thought that I was going to lose my teaching job. But then when I didn't lose my teaching job, I found myself being a full-time teacher and having to have a music school running without me there. And what I had to be able to do is to figure out that system that would keep my team building without me being present. But I also had to figure out a way to really support and mentor them. And so I really started focusing so much on our processes and so much on how I can provide the best support possible. And so as time went on and I realized, wait, I've been putting so much time into this. We have a really, really, really great system, and we really provide really great support for the people that we do have. And that made me think, this is definitely something that's replicatable. It's something that people, even when we look at our Google reviews, people clearly love what we do. And they love the consistency of it. And so that got me very excited about franchising and to be able to really bring this to many different places, because I'm only one person and I can't open up a whole bunch of locations and try and be there to greet the students and all the things that you do
I'm
at all
not
these different
Superwoman. I
schools.
can't fly from location to location.
No, I haven't figured it out yet, but instead, I know that there are really amazing people out there who deserve the opportunity to make a difference in their communities. And so it makes me really excited about taking our processes and taking our systems and bringing our support system of people, and including myself, to be able to help franchisees and see them grow and bring these experiences that we have, and everything from Carnegie Hall to those international trips, everything that we do, and to be able to help other communities and other kids and also adults, because we do serve some adults as well, for them to get those experiences at well. I think it's super special, and a lot of people don't know where to start to be able to put those things into place. And so this is something that we can offer them to make it easier.
Well, and I mean, you must be doing something right because I mean, to warrant the attention of someone like Kenny G, who's a very accomplished musician, one of the best in his age. I mean, you don't just attract talent like that for just haphazardly. I mean, it's got to be something you're doing that they love. And I was reading some of your reviews, and they are very good. So is there any because this question just jumped in my head. And again, for those of you who are listening, the primary website for New York Music Center is nymcmusic.com. And the franchise link is on the main site. But if you want to go straight to the franchise information page, it's nymcmusicfranchise.com. And now you guys are legally a franchise now, right? You ready
Yes,
to
we
sell?
are.
That's great.
Ready to
That's
go.
exciting. I'm a franchisor too, and I never will forget the day, May the 24th, when Chris said, "Hey, we're ready to go." And man, I was like a kid in the candy store. I'm like, let's go.
Yep.
But music teachers that you've brought in to work with you, who have come from other music schools, is any of them that noticed a marked difference in where they came from and how you do things?
I I think I'll use an example today from one, and he just started working with us, and we told him that he had got another student, and he literally jumped up and down and was so excited, and he was like, "This is amazing," because it's like feast or famine oftentimes at music schools, because you may have a building, but oftentimes most people just have no idea how to make it someplace special, or how to make how to get the students in there. And so
Right.
I think one of the biggest things that I've heard from other teachers is they love that we have standards for our students. We look for our students and teachers who are aligned with us, people who have integrity, people who want to be of service to other people. And as we're doing the right thing and always being consistent with our processes, we find that our teachers' schedules are full and they love that. And so for them to be able to provide for their families is something that is not only important to them, obviously, but very important to me as well.
So now, do you have, this is a good question I'm sure that a franchisee would want to know is, you have a system in place for new teachers that come and apply where you can just, you don't have to guess what to ask or, how to interview them. You already know what to say and what to look for, right?
Absolutely. We have all of that lined up. And that way people don't have to play the guessing game. They know what to say, when to say it. We try and train them on how to say it and whatever they need to do to make sure that people know when they're deciding between where they want to teach someplace else in town versus us, they know where to choose. And I'll give you an example. In our town of our newest location, 2 music schools just closed down in the past 2 months, which is sad. But their teachers have come over to us and they've said, "Hey, can we start teaching here?" And they're like, "This is like night and day. Like there's life here. There's organization here. There's great teamwork here, a great culture that's been built, and they take pride in that. And that definitely is a big distinguishing factor between us and many other schools."
Well, and you have found a way to create, like you said, a community within this industry in your locations. And me personally, I'm 56. I publish a Christian newspaper. I'm constantly out in like a 5-county area, just talking to people. And not once have I ever heard somebody say, "Man, have you heard of this music school where they teach these kids? I mean, it's really awesome. I've never heard that, and it's just not something that the average person's accustomed to hearing. So it's very awesome that you've created a unique model that, like you said, is replicatable to other communities. And like I said, to go back to the price point, 79,000 all in investment is a very good price point for a franchise in any sector today, because again, most of them start at a minimum of 100,000 and go up from there. And the fact that, you're not dealing with food, you're not dealing with, just any kind of retail type stuff. And another thing I love about what you offer is the subscription basis. So I'm looking at this from a business owner's standpoint. Somebody who buys a franchise with you, they don't have to worry about chasing the parent down for every single session and billing. It's all set up on a subscription basis. And what you told me, what they get, when you break that down over the course of a month, that's very fair, very fair pricing based on everything that you offer. I think it's fantastic. So, well, I can't think of what else to ask you except for tell us how you met Franchise Marketing Systems and what made you choose them to create your franchise for you.
So I was very, very fortunate that Franchise Marketing Systems started reaching out to me. I want to say maybe 2 or maybe a little over 2 years ago. And I had been getting 2 different types of emails. The first type of email was a lot of people reaching out asking if they can buy my music school. And then the second type of so I would get those frequently. And then every once in a while, I would also get an email from Chris Connor, who he'd reach out and say, "Hey, it looks like you have something special here. Have you considered franchising?" And it was something that was in the back of my head for a long time, way more than the idea of selling my music school to somebody else. And so as I started receiving these emails every once in a while, it got me thinking a little more. And then he would FMS would feed a little more information at a time about what the franchise process looked like. And most importantly, in anything that I'm doing, whether it's looking for customers or teachers, or people to work with, I'm looking for people who seem like they have great integrity and who really want well for other people and want to serve other people and help them expand. And I felt that way every time that I spoke to Chris Connor at Franchise Marketing Systems. And it just really led me in so much. And it was something I wanted to do, but I kept pushing it off until one day I realized, if not today, then when? And when when I started working with them, I said yes, and then we stepped on the gas, and I promise you, it's gone 150 miles an hour, and
Yeah.
and it's been really, truly amazing working with them. And I feel like they've really helped me thoroughly develop a really wonderful franchise system that is going to make a lot of differences for a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, and several awesome things about franchise marketing systems is like you said, Chris Connor, the CEO, he's one of the hardest working, most humble, positive people you'll ever want to meet. He's very ethical, and like I've told many people, the FMS is not check takers. They don't just everybody comes to them and says, "I want to create a franchise," because they get a lot of companies that come to them want to, and they say, "You're just not ready," because maybe you don't have the right numbers on the books or whatever it is, but they'll be honest and let them know, look, if fix this, come back, and then we can create the franchise. Because one of the great things about FMS is once they create your franchise, and it's very professional. They've done over 900 brands. They're all unique, but they're going to help you sell your franchises. They're going to help you promote your franchises. And one of them is what we're doing right now with this interview on franchiseradio.net. But I'm just so excited because I think just based on the current economy, and we hope after the election is over, thank God that's going to be soon, the economy is going to kind of open back up because everybody, for whatever reason, seems very scared in election year. And I don't know why, because life goes on. I mean, you wake up and you go to work and you got things
That's
to
right.
do. But
That's
anyway,
right.
it's just the nature of people, and the media surely doesn't help. But to make a long story short, FMS is a company that will create a franchise out of your business, and they do everything for you. It's like a 11 to 12 step process, things you wouldn't even imagine that they would do in the process, which is the operations manual, filing the trademark with the federal government, creating a beautiful 8-page sales brochure that you can either print or send digitally. And like you said, Talonda, just the communication and how proficient they are in the creation process is just amazing. It really is
Incredible.
amazing. Yeah. And that's something that I have witnessed firsthand. So once again, you're listening to the Franchise Marketing Systems Client Spotlight podcast with Dr. Talonda Thomas. She is in Long Island, New York, and her business is the New York Music Center, and the website is nymcmusic.com. And again, the franchise link is on the main website. And if you want to go straight to that website about the franchise information, nymcmusicfranchise.com. 79,000 all in. You can, like she said, within 3 months, depending or sooner, you can start to receive students and generate revenue. And the last thing I guess to ask you is the training and support that you provide once somebody becomes a franchisee.
Yeah. So it's really, really important to me that our franchisees are successful. We obviously would have them come in for a discovery day, but and then at their disposal, I not only will have them come to our locations and train with us and be boots on ground with my team and who can help teach all the day-to-day operations. And I, of course, help with all the business operation training with them. But then we're going to make sure to be there for you when you are not just about to operate, but also we want to be there with you on your grand opening day and to continue being there as a support to you. And this is not a get you started and let you go thing. This is a ongoing partnership where we can now help you grow and provide you the support and mentorship so that way you can grow to however many locations that you want.
So you are open to multi-unit owners.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I'm glad you said that. So here's a fun question before we get ready to wrap it up. Which musical instruments do you play yourself?
I play piano and I sing.
Okay, fantastic. So I did actually send Talonda 2 of my songs through Facebook that the Lord blessed me that I recorded, and she said, I love them. So
They were
um,
amazing.
thank you. I'm waiting on you to go talk to the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir to see if they'll let me come up there and perform with them because I
Ooh.
absolutely love those folks, man. They are amazing. Did you get a chance to go on YouTube and listen to Psalm 34?
I did not. It's
Oh,
on my to-do list, but
oh,
I did not. But I'm glad I got to hear your songs to start with. And now this conversation is going to reignite me jumping back to that and going to check that out because they are incredible. They
They
really
really
are.
are. Psalm 34 on YouTube, Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. You will absolutely love it from a singing standpoint, from a musician standpoint, even the way they're dressed and the auditorium where they perform is just beautiful, you know. But Talonda, thank you so much for being with us. As like I said, it's one of my favorite podcasts I've done so far on the FMS Client Spotlight series. And just again, being a Christian, loving music. And I know that you're a Christian as well. And I love everything about your franchise. The price point's awesome. And I really feel like, that you didn't start this business with the goal of becoming wealthy. I really feel like I don't feel like you've done any of this for the purpose of money. I felt like you did
Yeah.
it because that you saw there was a need there and you had a vision to make, music instruction a fun, family oriented environment with a buzz,
Yes,
and I think that's one of the things that really makes your music school so successful and will bless the franchisees to be successful too.
absolutely.
And if
Absolutely.
if they could replicate your smile, they're going to be successful. That's all I'm saying.
There we go. We'll practice. We're going to throw that in too.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, listen, again, as we wrap up here, thanks so much for Dr. Talonda Thomas of the NYC, New York City Music Center. 2 locations. They just have legally become a franchise. They're ready to sell. And I feel like this is such a hot opportunity for anybody who is just looking for something unique, something that's got an amazing system in place for the franchisees to immediately start seeing success when they get open. And they're going to help you every facet, every step of the way, and be there for you, like she said, for the long haul. Again, my name is Todd Abraham. You're listening to Franchise Marketing Systems Client Spotlight Podcast on franchiseradio.net. If you're interested in buying a franchise with Miss Talonda Thomas, you can contact me directly at 423-381-0925. And you can go to their website, check out all the information, nymcmusic.com. Talonda, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you have a good night, dear.
Thank you too.